I'm gonna show you a very simple recipe on how to cook ribs. Fair warning, these ribs are slow cooked at 300 degrees and it's so soft, it basically melts. If you're looking for a recipe that presents well, this is not for you. But it's simple and it's f***ing delicious. There's really only 4 ingredients: a rack of ribs, salt, garlic powder, and barbecue sauce, which you could modify to your preference. The first thing you need to do is open up your pack of ribs and rip off the membrane. I know some people keep it on, but I don't like the texture, plus it removes some fat. I like to do this all in the sink, and you'll see why later. Find a corner on the bottom of the ribs where you could poke your finger underneath the membrane, and you should feel this thin, rough layer. It's gonna be slimy, but as long as you can get a good grip on it, you'll be able to tear this layer off in one piece. Next, pat dry all of the ribs with some paper towels, and this is where you do your best Salt Bae impression. Grab your garlic powder and generously coat both sides of the ribs, and this is why I do it in the sink. Next, grab your salt. You could use regular salt, but my secret ingredient is this smoked salt, which gives you this hickory flavor that'll convince people that you cooked this in a smoker. If your ribs are too big for your baking sheet, you could cut them in half. At this point, preheat your oven at 300 degrees, and now you want to make your foil tents. Cut out 2 pieces of foil for each rack of ribs, and these pieces should be 10 inches longer than the longest side of the ribs. It doesn't matter if the shiny side is up or down, because that's a myth. Center the ribs on top of a sheet of foil so that the meaty part is face down. Then place another piece of foil on top, and you're gonna origami fold the edges so you seal the ribs in a chamber that prevents moisture from escaping. 2 folds is the best, but if you think that air could escape, you could do 3 or roll it. Be gentle, because sometimes the sharp edges of the bone could poke through and then you'll have to redo it. By now, your oven should be 300 degrees, and once the tents are done, pop them in the oven in the center rack. Set your timer at 2.5 hours, and this is a perfect time to make sides. Once the time's up, pull the ribs out and set them aside to let them cool. During this time, you want to make your barbecue sauce. I want my baby back, baby back. This is where you could get creative. There's no right way. Just add whatever your preferences. Return back to the ribs and open the tents and place them back onto the baking sheet. At this time, turn your broiler on. This is equivalent to 500 degrees, and the purpose of broiling is not to cook the meat, but to solidify the sauce on top to make it thicker. You want to paint every inch of these ribs with sauce on both the bottom and the top. Happy ribs. Pop these back in the oven uncovered, and this is where most people mess up. It's extremely important to only do this for around 3 minutes, and going even a minute more can result in burnt sauce, which then you could try to wipe off. If you're feeling saucy, you could add another layer of sauce and broil for 2 more minutes. And then, this is the final product. As you could see, it melts in your mouth and dissolves into a divine liquid form of, which makes it real difficult to serve without looking like slop. The best thing to do is just serve half a rack, and there you go. Voila! Let me know if you have any questions, like, share, and enjoy.